to the commercial programs like the government did. In Germany we have about 8 hours for the whole Second World War. 8 double hours, that's all. So you cannot educate students well with 8 double hours. Yeah. So, and it's finished. So when I went in schools, and normally I have about myself, sometimes I have 3 weeks, 4 weeks, I make project with these guys, so we find out, we search in the near of the school, how many people get killed there, if they had labor camps. So they make maps, put needles on it, what do you call it, Nadia? Yeah. So to show where people get killed. And on the end of the project, we count how many people there. Then they went to our government and show the results. And these people get shot all the time. So that's what I'm doing. Yeah, I adopted the rap band in Germany. I do the same like you. I adopt everyone who helps me. So it is a rap band mixed by Croatian, Serbs, Italian, and German. And they had in the school the same problems as immigrants. And they saw the clip and they saw the film, and it was a nice story. So they called me. I was on the trip from Sweden, and they called me if it's possible. They are right now in Berlin to meet when I'm coming home. I said, Berlin? Coming home? I'm not living in Berlin. Oh. Where living? I said, I'm living near Stuttgart. And I asked them, where are you living? Oh, we're living in a small town in the Black Forest, but you don't know that. You come out of the city. I said, maybe I know that. So they give me the name and said, you live in the same town like I live. So I arrived, and 2 hours later, I was completely in jet lag. We sit in a bar, we have the first meeting, and now they create 6 samples against racism, Nazi, and the right-wingers. So I paid for the whole project, and that it is very important. Well, the right-wingers use the same system. So they went over music, they used the social networks, and Ivan knows how active I am on Twitter, and how many followers I have. And I think the guys on my Twitter page are very serious. So that is how to get people together to build the same movement like the right-wing or racists have. Well, we only cannot go against them with punishment or fights. That will be stupid. We have to act in a way that young people accept it without getting in trouble with crime.
So you want to have music that fights Nazism, racism, and terrorism, and all these bad things is music. And have you put a sample of see how it's going?
It will come. The sample will be finished until end of the year, so it needs a little bit time to mix all that stuff. But I think it will be a good platform for young people. Well, these guys are not older than 24. So they know exactly what young people like. I, in my age, I not really know what young people like. I only see it with my granddaughter, 13. She likes my credit card. She likes to go shopping with me. So, but that is not the part of my task, to educate young people. So, and I said to my student all the time, with closed eyes it's easy living. So when you close your eyes, nothing happened for you. But on the end, when the trouble will be there, and you open your eyes, you didn't look in the abyss looks in you. And immediately, history repeats itself. Immediately.
Is there a question over there?
Yes, I did have a question. You mentioned that your father lives in Germany, and he is part of the still Nazi Party. How large is the Nazi Party in Germany? Is it growing? What is the situation there now?
So the government in Germany, and I'm in contact with a lot of people from the government, they think it is a minority. So it's up to you, when I give you now the right fact, 380,000 active right-wingers, active. So it's up to you to think it's a minority or not. In whole Europe, we spoke about 2.8 million. And if we now count the right-wingers here in America and the racists together, I think we have a population over 7 million. So if you think it is a minority, okay, I don't think so.
To make a little correction, not everybody who is right-wing, meaning voting Republican or voting United States, is a racist.
Right-winger in Germany means Nazis. They use the swastika, they use the ideology.
That is Nazis, it's
Yeah.
different. Because there is a difference. There are people who are right-wingers in the United States, which you call right-wingers, but they would be 100% against Nazis. Okay?
Yeah, I think all people who treat human rights with feet, for me, are Nazis. They don't respect other people, other ethnic groups. Not depends on how their skin, religion, or all that stuff. It's the same system like the Nazis had. So as well like the homosexual, a lot of my friends are homosexual. They never had the feeling that I treat them. So it's up to each other to live. And I think we as a community, we have to respect it.
Next question.
You said that when you were 12, that's when you started to hear about your heritage and you realized that who your grandfather was. What age did you start the fight? Like, when did you decide to go against the Nazis? Like, when did you decide to stand up? How old were you?
I was in the age of 17, 18.
And what happened when you were 17 or 18 that just made you decide to take that step?
I wrote a lot of details, like books, like the commandant, his biography. So I start to, and I had a nice guy, my mentor. He was out of a Lebensborn. So that was a creation from the Nazis, blue eyes and blonde hairs. It's like an experiment. So they took a wife out from the street, and they took a soldier from the East Front, bring them together, they have fun for one night, took them back, and the result was the child. So it was the common SS officer. So like the master race. That was what they create in these childless homes. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, right. So, and he was a mentor of me. And he shows me a lot of details I didn't know before. And I had the driver, Leopold Eger, which gave me a lot of information. And then was the time when I started to educate in schools. It was very important for me that my children not inherit that bad thing from the family. All that stuff, that they get blamed or have problems with the name.
How did you escape your family and become on your own?
It was in 1985, after my father said to my firstborn son that he is a bastard. So he was not accepted as a Hoess in his family. Well, I was 16 when my ex-wife got pregnant. So it was out of the normal range in that family. And in 1985, I cut the lines completely to the whole family. I couldn't live with a family who denies such crimes and glorified my grandfather as such a good soldier, a commandant, which never make any crimes or kill people or things like that. And after that, I start fighting against my family as well. Yeah. I had a Jewish friend, he was a neighbor, but it was not interested in our use, if he's Jewish, Catholic, or something like that. But he invites me to go to the Pesach Fest. Yeah. So I went home and asked my father if it's okay when I go with Chris to the Pesach Fest. He smashed down his beer on the table, slapped me, broke my nose, put me in my room, locked the door, and made a sign on the fence door, which stand on it, Jews not allowed. So you can imagine how deeply involved and influenced he was. And later on he said to our priest in the school that his father forgotten him to bring him to Auschwitz. Well, he asked him about all my blue and green, what do you call it? No, no, it was not a tattoo.
Bruises. Bruises.
So, and then he got these answers from my father.
As a child, were you treated badly for being your grandson?
No, not for my friends.
None of your friends, did anybody know of your heritage when you were young?
Yeah, in the town where I live, everybody knows about it. So it was not a secret. But in small towns in Germany, the people don't talk about it. So they create a secret itself.
Is there a question over there?
Yeah, I have a question. You said that your family, you distance yourself from your family, right? But you reach so many people through your journeys now. And what does it do to you that you can't really reach your family? And do you have an explanation for the fact that you have that insight that the Nazi ideology was not good, but your family doesn't? How do you deal with that?
I think you see it all the time, how I deal with it. I went to TV shows, I go in medias, I give lectures to students, and I'm very busy about it. So it is more than a full-time job. It's better to go back in my normal job like an event manager. So after 7 hours I can finish. Right now I have a day, like 16, 17 hours a day where I'm working. So, and I see that I stitch all the time in my family. When my aunt in America in DC, she made very, very bad comments to journalists that I'm drug abused, that I'm an alcoholic, that I use opportunism to use opportunism with such a name, that's stupid. If it was a Nobel Prize winner, okay, but not as a mass murderer.
Hi, I had a quick question. Just, you mentioned you didn't really know about your family history, I guess, what he did, until you were about 12, but you want your kids to be escaped from the family name. So did you educate your children about what your their great-grandfather did, or did you just let them figure it out on their own?
No, I educate them. So we have at home a computer, I installed it. All my results, all my research, all the documents are inside. So they can research as well themselves. But it was in old schools of my kids, in the time when they have the part of the Second World War, I was invited by the director of the school and I lecture them. I educate them. So it was not a secret in my family. That's what I swore myself. There are no secrets about my family in my own family. And now I give you a sample about my oldest granddaughter. I was with Eva in Auschwitz, and she called me and said, you know what you promised to me when I'm 13, you told me that you go with me to Auschwitz. I'm 13 right now. So you can imagine how I educate my children. No. I think to feel guilty, in the first steps I feel guilty when I researched all that stuff, but now I see the people, how important it is to educate and to talk about public with it. So we can be proud, I think the Americans can be proud of their country as well, we Germans can be proud of our country. Well, history is not only based on 12 years of these guys called the Nazis. So the Germans have a long, long and well done history. So of music, of acts, of painters, things like that.